Okay, guys, I'm just here to get some of those sweet, sweet Stallman views since everybody's talking about it. For those that don't know, Free Software Foundation basically Richard Stallman rejoined the board of the Free Software Foundation. He was the president of it, and he's also the founder of it. So when I'm looking at it, so from the outset, there's a lot of things that he said that I don't agree with, a lot of people don't agree with, and there's some things that people are accusing him of saying that really aren't all that true. And that's due to, and I would also say that that's due to things that he said before. So people accusing him of these things are really basically trying to cast a character that's inconsistent with what he has actually said publicly. But that'll be something later on. But first of all, so him leaving the FSF initially, or in essence getting kicked out, he might have left to make it more amicable. But other than that, it's basically like Apple and Steve Jobs. So initially, Steve Jobs starts Apple up. He gets things ripping and roaring. Some things happen. They get rid of him, and then Steve Jobs creates something different, and they bring him back. The thing is, with the Free Software Foundation, Richard Stallman, being the founder of it, in essence has the, how do you say it? He has the vision that he wants for it, and I don't think he's quite instilled that vision into someone else to take over as president of it. But him coming back to the board means that they still have that insight from him on free software and what it should look like. There may be a number of people that are the same way, but then at the same time, it's a controversy because of some of the things that he said relating to romantic or sexual relations with children and adults between those two, which is where some of the accusations against him of being transphobic, homophobic, and everything else really seems inconsistent, being as his viewpoint is that sexual relations are okay between consenting persons, and even goes on in a way saying that bestiality is okay. So when people say like he's homophobic or transphobic, it's like I'm really having a hard time believing that when previous statements have indicated that he allows for everything else. It's like, okay, so if it's between two consenting adults and persons and it's okay with animals in certain cases, then I don't see how that would make him homophobic or transphobic when those kind of viewpoints would be inconsistent with his viewpoints he has already expressed otherwise. And I'd have to go and look. I haven't looked, but I'm sure we could find it if I just take a second. Okay, so I found one. Took a pause for a second. So this is kind of what I mean. So back in 2010, this is from wikiquote.org under Richard Stallman. So if you go down under 2010, it has this. Andrew Holland was prosecuted in the UK for possessing extreme pornography, a term which appears to mean porn that judges and prosecutors consider shocking. He had received a video showing a tiger having sex with a woman, or at least apparently so. He was found innocent because the video he received was a joke. I am glad he was not punished, but this law is nonetheless a threat to other people. If Mr. Holland had had a serious video depicting a tiger having sex with a woman, he still would not deserve to go to prison. I've read that male dolphins try to have sex with humans and female apes solicit sex from humans. What is wrong with giving them what they want if that's what turns you on, or even just to gratify them? So, taking a pause from the quote, this is what I mean. Like, that part right there really says, like, okay, so I don't see how his belief system would say he's homophobic. So continuing the quote, perhaps. But this law is not concerned with protecting animals, since it does not care whether the animal really had sex or really existed at all. It only panders to the prejudice of censors. A parrot once had sex with me. I did not recognize the act as sex until it was explained to me afterward, but being stroked on the hand by his soft belly feathers was so pleasurable that I yearned for another chance. I have a photo of that act. Should I go to prison for it? Perhaps I am spared because this photo isn't disgusting. But disgusting is a subjective matter. We must not imprison people merely because someone feels disgusted. I find the sight of wounds disgusting. Fortunately, surgeons do not. Maybe there's someone who considers it disgusting for a parrot to have sex with a human, or for a dolphin or tiger to have sex with a human. So what? Others feel that all sex is disgusting. There are prejudiced people that want to ban all depiction of sex and force all women to cover their faces. This law and the laws they want are the same in spirit. Threatening people with death or injury is a very bad thing, but violence is no less bad for being non-sexual. It is worse to shoot someone while stroking that person's genitals than to shoot someone from a few feet away. Is it worse to shoot someone while stroking that person's genitals than to shoot someone from a few feet away? If I were to go to the victim and I were invited to choose one or the other, I would choose whichever one gave me the best chance to escape. Images of violence can be painful to see, but they are no better for being non-sexual. I saw images of gruesome bodily harm in the movie Pulp Fiction. I do not want to see anything like that again, sex or no sex. That is no reason to censor these works, and I would still not be a reason, even if most people reacted to them as I do. Since the law doesn't care whether a real human was really threatened with harm, it is not really concerned about our safety from violence any more than it is concerned with avoiding suffering for corpses or animals. It is only prejudice taking a form that can ruin people's lives. So this is the thing. This whole long block of text quote basically kind of explains his viewpoint on the whole thing. So I don't see how people can construe in the petition to get rid of Richard Stallman saying that he's homophobic, transphobic, and everything else when he has this viewpoint of in just the media alone, and in pedophilic relations otherwise, as people have pointed out multiple times. The other thing is these people that are arguing for his removal, if you go and look at the petition, and many people have pointed this out too already, is that they're all associated with organizations that have come out publicly against the Free Software Foundation, or they are other, how do I put it? They are foundations that would seek to limit the use of their open source software, which when you say that Richard Stallman's bad for the Free Software Foundation, like I've seen pop up in my recommended feeds a couple times from a couple rather larger YouTubers, it's really like, how is he dangerous to the Free Software Foundation when he advocates for people to be able to open, use, modify the software for any purpose that they feel? In reality, these ethical and open source software movements that seek to limit who can use their software have no way of really controlling that, being as they're putting this software out there publicly. They can't honestly tell someone that they can't use their software because people pirate the likes of Photoshop and everything just the same and use it for many of the same purposes that these people would oppose. So in reality, the only thing that there is really is this free software movement. The difference is that in the free software movement, the software is moved about freely rather than limited by DRM or other such things, which end up hurting the end user in many ways, as we've noticed from various DRM like Denuvo and the like in the past, and the insane performance hit that can take. But other than that, if you really look at it, these people that are arguing against it are more than likely just finding an opportunity to where they can try and destroy something that they oppose. And when you take these accusations and you have nothing to back them up with, again, that's the only thing. And yeah, sometimes you'll end up backing them up with memes, but is memes really a standard way when you're pulling those memes out of the context of everything else that person does? If you take those individual quotes and pull them out of the context of the whole discussion, period, even, what does that story tell us? Where, if you can see where I'm going with that. But yeah, so Richard Stallman views, please. I feel like some of the other stuff that I do, you miss the streams and stuff that I do, then let me know. Send me, the support links and everything. I put those in the description every time. Come and scream at me, and things like that, and I will see you all later.